Betty Ford, the wife of US President Gerald Ford. Early years. Elizabeth Ann Bloomer was born in 1918 in Chicago and was the third child and only daughter in the family. She spent her childhood primarily in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where she completed high school. After the Black Thursday of 1929, Betty Bloomer began modeling clothes and also started teaching other children to dance the waltz, foxtrot, and Big Apple. She herself studied dance at the Calla Travis Dance Studio, completing her training in 1935. When Betty was 16 years old, her father died from carbon monoxide poisoning while working in his garage. Career development. After graduating from high school, Betty intended to continue her dance education in New York City, but her mother opposed that. Instead, Bloomer attended the Bennington School of Dance in Bennington, Vermont, during the summer for 2 years, where she studied under Martha Graham. She also worked as a model for John Robert Powers, earning money for her education. Soon, Betty joined Graham's auxiliary dance group and performed at Carnegie Hall. Although her mother disapproved of her career path and demanded that Betty return home, eventually they were able to reach a compromise. In 1941, Bloomer returned to Michigan, where she became a fashion coordinator at a local department store. She also organized her own dance group and taught the art of dance, including working with disabled children, marriage and family. Betty married William Warren, a furniture salesman whom she had known since the age of 12 in 1942. The couple did not have any children, and in 1947, their marriage ended in divorce. Betty then married Gerald Ford, a lawyer and World War II veteran. Their wedding took place on October 15, 1948, in Grand Rapids. The couple had 4 children: Michael Gerald Ford, born 1950, John Gardner Ford, born 1952, Stephen Meigs Ford, born 1956, and Susan Elizabeth Ford, born 1957. In 1974, after the Watergate scandal, President Richard Nixon resigned, and Gerald Ford, who was then serving as vice president, assumed the presidency. Betty and Gerald were one of the most open and affectionate couples in the White House, openly displaying their love for each other. Later life. In September 1973, Betty Ford was hospitalized. She was diagnosed with breast cancer, and her right breast was removed. While recovering in the hospital, she received thousands of letters, phone calls, and flowers from people expressing their support. She decided to use her position as the First Lady to raise awareness about the importance of regular breast examinations for early detection of cancer. She openly and honestly spoke about her illness, breaking societal stereotypes. According to experts, her advocacy saved many women's lives. Betty Ford successfully recovered, and in 1976, after thorough examinations, doctors declared her cancer-free. In 1978, she published her autobiography, The Times of My Life. In 1982, she founded the Betty Ford Center, an organization dedicated to combating alcoholism and drug addiction, from which she had suffered for the past 2 decades. In 1987, Ford was enshrined in the Michigan Women's Hall of Fame. In 1991, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and in 1999, the Congressional Gold Medal. Death Betty Ford passed away on July 8, 2011, at the age of 93 in Rancho Mirage, California, due to complications related to a previous stroke.